Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
We are gathered here today to sip some tea, honey. So make sure you guys have your teacups ready because this tea is what? Piping hot. Hey, you guys, it's your girl T. So I want to come on here and talk about the whole Terry Crews, 50 Cent, and Russell Simmons situation, okay? So if you guys do not know, Terry Crews was basically on the Hill the other day. He was on C-SPAN, and he was talking about sexual assault. And this man spoke so eloquently. He was very, very honest. And I really loved this video. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this small snippet of Terry Crews talking to Capitol Hill. Go ahead and check this out, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
Sexual assault survivors' Bill of Rights today. My name is Terry Crews. I am an actor, author, former athlete, advocate, and a survivor of a sexual assault. This past year, we have seen powerful men in Hollywood and elsewhere finally held accountable for sexual harassment and assault. We also saw the backlash survivors faced after coming forward. I wanted these survivors to know that I believed them, I supported them, and that this happened to me too. This encouraged me to come forward with my own experience and reflect on the cult of toxic masculinity that exists in our society. As a child, I watched my father violently abuse my mother, using his power and authority to dominate her. All I could think of was how to protect her. How if I get strong, I can protect her from this living nightmare. As I grew up, this thought transformed the type of man I became. I swore I would never be like my father, and yet I believed to my core that as a man, I was more valuable in this world than women. As a protector and symbol of strength, I was more worthy, that women were beneath me. I used images of women's body and pornography at my disposal, validating my need for control. I often cut women short of sharing personal details of their lives so they would seem less human, less real. As a man, I was taught my entire life that I must control the world. So I used power, influence, and control to dominate every situation, from the football field to the film set, even in my own home with my wife and children. Then, in 2016, while at a party with my wife, I was sexually assaulted by a successful Hollywood agent. The assault lasted only minutes, but what he was effectively telling me while he held my genitals in his hand was that he held the power, that he was in control. This is how toxic masculinity permeates culture. As I shared my story, I was told over and over that this was not abuse, that this was just a joke, that this was just horseplay. But I can say that one man's horseplay is another man's humiliation. And I chose to tell my story and share my experience to stand in solidarity with millions of other survivors in the world. That I know how hard it is to come forward. I know the shame associated with assault. It happened to me. I'm not a small or insecure man, but in that moment and in the time following, I've never felt more emasculated. As I watched women and colleagues in my industry come forward to share their Me Too stories, this shame washed over me again and again, and I knew I had to act.
All right, so you guys just saw that video, Terry Crews. So after that video went viral, 50 Cent decided to victim shame Terry Crews. And basically he clowned Terry Crews. But what was so interesting is that Russell Simmons was caught in the comment section and he made a crying face laughing emoji. Now, as we all know, Russell Simmons tried to reach out to Terry Crews and tell him to drop the case against that executive who grabbed his nuts. And Terry Crews basically blasted Russell Simmons and said that no one gets a pass. So ever since then, Russell Simmons has been salty with Terry Crews. So he caught himself going to 50 Cent's comment section and low-key laughing at Terry Crews' plight, okay? So after 50 Cent got drugged for his pettiness, he basically deleted that post. But now here's where karma comes in. After that went viral and folks were going in on Russell Simmons and 50 Cent, another woman, okay, this makes woman number 18, has now accused Russell Simmons of rape, okay? When I tell you karma is real, see, Russell, you should have just sat there and ate your fucking food, okay? That's what you should have done. You should have stayed your ass out of 50 Cent's comment, because when you were in his comment section laughing and kikiing thinking it was all good, that gave this woman, her name is C. Lyle Abrams, it gave her the strength to come out and blast your ass, okay? And basically she's now accusing Russell Simmons of raping her back a few years ago. I'm going to go ahead and read you guys this latest report. This is just really disturbing. Go ahead and check this out. So Seal Abrams says she met Simmons in 1989 while working as a hostess in a nightclub in New York. The two later began an intimate, consensual sexual relationship. After working as an executive assistant at Def Jam Recording in 1992, Abrams briefly moved to Florida with her infant son, later moving back to New York in 1994. That year, Abrams planned to reunite with Simmons and spend the day together. The then 24-year-old told the Def Jam co-founder that she was seeing someone else and that the physical aspect of their relationship was over. The record exec allegedly told her that he would respect that. The two of them visited different parties that night. Abrams drank heavily. She says that Simmons only drank sparkling water. And at 3 a.m., she asked Simmons to order her a ride home. But he instead took her to his penthouse. Abrams passed out fully clothed on the bed while drifting in and out of sleep. She said Simmons approached her naked except for a condom, flipped her onto her stomach, pulled down her shorts, and he raped her, against her repeated protest. According to her account, he then told Abrams to spend the rest of the night back at her friend's place, where she woke up the next morning. Abrams attempted suicide the following morning and checked into the Bellevue Hospital emergency room with the help of her host then husband, Emmanuel, whom she confided in about the rape. While at the hospital, Emmanuel said he called Simmons to ask for help with the medical fees. After informing him that the hospital visit cost thousands of dollars, Simmons reportedly responded, "That's a lot of money for one night," according to Emmanuel. Abrams was then moved to St. Vincent Psychiatric Ward, where she received visits from two friends, both of whom she told about the rape. They informed The Hollywood Reporter that she still has a 1994 receipt from the hospital totaling $3,463. Simmons apologized to Abrams for that incident a few years later in 1998, she says. They saw each other at Moomba nightclub in New York, where Simmons allegedly was hanging out with Donald Trump. Simmons approached her outside the women's restroom and said, "I'm sorry about what I did. I'm a different person now," according to Abrams. Simmons denied the allegations, but he is being represented by attorney Patricia Glaser. Lila Abrams is now the 18th woman to accuse Russell Simmons of rape and assault. This also includes former Def Jam executive Drew Dixon, who told the New York Times in December that she dealt with Simmons' prolonged and aggressive sexual assault, including him regularly exposing his penis to her and asking her to sit on his lap during meetings. Alrighty then. So you guys just heard me read what she had to say. So again, like I always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. This is now the 18th woman to accuse this man of rape, of, sexual harassment. This entire situation is crazy. So like I said before, Russell, you should have just sat there and ate your food, okay? So instead of clowning Terry Crews and, being childish with 50 Cent, you shouldn't be involved in mocking anybody who's a victim. He shouldn't have said anything about Terry Crews, because now it's forced another woman to come out and basically point a finger at your ass, okay? So anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire disturbing situation. Once again, concerning Terry Crews getting clowned by 50 Cent and Russell Simmons. And then not even 24 hours after they clowned Terry Crews, another victim of Russell Simmons comes out. So let me know your thoughts on this entire situation. All right, deuces.
Missy!
Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I hope you really enjoyed that video. If you want to know more about my look of the day, or if you want a way to contact me concerning advertisement and sponsorship deals, definitely feel free to click my description box. There's plenty of information in there. Please stay tuned for the next video. Talk to y'all later.